Hello and welcome to GUI.Dog. Oh yes. So what are we talking about today? We're still talking about Suhuf. Yeah, so there's a little progress being made. It's taken a while, eating through a lot of creator credits. But let me follow up on the previous video. I will link to it at the end of this one, so if you want to see that one. And yeah, it was a car crash. I thought that the private messages, the encrypted messages, would show. They didn't in that video. The reason why is because you need to go up to this. Can I see? There we go. Yeah, you need to go up here and to your extensions. That little icon right there. And if you choose that icon, then pin NOS2x and also the three dots. This can read and change site data and choose the site that you're on. So whether it's suhuf.co, make sure to choose that. And yeah, so that is the reason why it wasn't showing. So it has actually shown. We have two messages here, end-to-end encryption in the private message section. This is the messages part of the Suhuf. And if you're new, this is built with AI. AI is doing this, and this is all about producing something that is useful for people. So now in the public feed, I have this right here. Just did this today, took a lot of credits, took a while to do. It's not completely finished, but in the public feed, I want to show comments made under certain businesses. So this is right here. It's showing that a comment I made under a certain business. So what did I want to talk about today? I want to talk about MVP. You hear this a lot, minimum viable product. So when you're putting a product out there that is meeting the need of people, solving a problem, you want the minimum viable product. And you might say, for instance, Uncle GUI, why are you doing all of these features? Why is it feature packed? You said that in the schema. I will link the playlist for that, so that if you want to find out what I mean by when I was talking about the schema, if you want to find out what that's all about, you can take a look at the playlist of how I'm building this website with AI. So the schema, I said in the schema, the database schema, brainstorm everything and anything, all the bells and whistles that you want for your website. And then how does that relate to minimum viable product? Well, I would say, and this is my opinion, minimum viable product, it's minimum viable feature packed product, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to skew value. You want the competitors, you want to win the value competition, meaning that when a consumer, when someone who's got money wants to choose between you and the competition, they'll choose you because you have the great features. You have what they're looking for, and what will cause them to actually pull out the money out of their wallet and give it to you instead of the competition. So what I'd say is with MVP, it's minimum viable feature packed product, meaning that it's the feature that is the minimum viable. So for instance here, I've done the minimum in terms of the comments. I'm using Nostra and I've done the minimum, but the feature is there. It's not that you dumb down your product to the point where it's just so watered down, it's generic, and there's no difference between you and your competition. More likely your competition has better features, and the consumer, the customer, the person with the money will choose them over you. So the minimum viability is in the feature, in each feature, but not in your entire product. Your entire product has to head and shoulders be above your competition. So there is this thing, I've been reading J Demarco, and I will cite his books in the description. And he talks about productocracy, and that's a big word, and you probably don't but just think about viral business. So I'll just use the two words, the phrase viral business. And he says a viral business is one that the customers, they return to. So they don't just buy once, but they do return to. And they, word of mouth, they talk about it on social media. That's the business you're looking for. That's what you're looking for. You're not just looking for someone to give you money once and then it's lukewarm and you never have another relationship with them and then you have to keep on finding new people. No, you want that person to come back because of what they're getting is so good. And I would say, instead of hoping and praying and wishing for it, hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a strategy. You need to build those features into your product. So those features are actually part of your product. So, for instance, my intention with Suhuf, because it's a business directory. Let's go to the businesses. It's literally a business directory. But why didn't I just build a generic 1990s business? Business isn't showing. Why aren't you showing? Teething problems. Oh, there we are. So it's literally a business directory. That's all it is. So why didn't I build a generic 1990s business directory like everyone else out there? Because my intention was that obviously to stand out head and shoulders and be different from the rest and feature packed and so forth. But the intention is that the customer will come for the business. So they come once, they find it on whatever web search engine, whatever, they come and they find a business and they just needed something quickly. They'll come for the business, they'll return for the clout. You see, I've built the return of the customer in that viral business feature. I've built it into the actual product, and you can do this with AI. Literally, you can build it with AI. You don't need to know how to code. And this is a golden opportunity for you, because if you have an idea, if you've seen something, the way it works is like it's domain knowledge. You have a certain knowledge of look, no person, wherever you are right now, no person can occupy the same space and time. The 4 dimensions, they cannot stand. Even if you're witnessing the same thing, let's say you're witnessing a sunrise, with a crowd of people, none of those people are standing in the spot you are standing in, because physically, the universe, physically, no one can be in the same position as you. So you have a unique witness. You have a unique view on the world that no one else sees, and then that's your domain knowledge. You have certain knowledge, ground truth knowledge. Like if you take, for instance, Sun Tzu and the Art of War. He says intelligence cannot be gathered by soothsayers. It's not by reading bones or trying to invoke the occult. It's gathered by talking to people. Why? Why is intelligence? Because people, they have domain knowledge. They have a unique on the ground understanding of what's happening that you can't get from anywhere else. So as an individual, you have that. No matter where if you've lived, you have that. And you have a certain knowledge about a certain situation, whether it's your city, whether it's your culture, whether it's your generation, what they're going through, their problems and so forth. And that means you have a unfair advantage when it comes to building something that will meet that need. So when it comes to domain knowledge, that is your unfair advantage. So here we've got a business, and the intention with this website was that people will just be looking for this information, and then they'll come back for the clout. They'll come back for the clout. So that's a return, and I've built that as a feature. And then they will stay for the messages. So there's a social media element to this. I've got the private messages here, so and it's built in there. And then so MVP, minimum viable product. You still feature pack your product with that. And also something else I want to talk about is that you might think, oh, you see a lot of it right now today. There are people like, who are very good at coding. The experts, they complain, oh, the code that AI puts out is bad and this and that and the other. And I remember seeing a video about this guy who said that he was talking about Satoshi Nakamoto, and he said he can code better than Satoshi Nakamoto. Well, that's great, but I think it was I don't know whether it was Andrew Carnegie or Napoleon Hill, but they had a saying. Their saying is that two types of people will never amount to anything in this world: those who can't do what they're told, and those who can do nothing else. And those who can't do what they're told, and those who can do nothing else. So, it's great that this guy has such wonderful coding knowledge, but the point of this technology, the point what we're doing here is the thing that Satoshi Nakamoto did was he wrote code that was useful, not expert code that's written nicely and meets all the rules and stuff like that. It's code that met a need. And then you get these guys who are experts, and then they can't build anything. They can't think for themselves. They have to be told what to do, and then they cry and whine about, oh yeah, AI is not writing the code as the way they would write it in their expert way. But they're not building anything that's useful. They're being told to build things that are useful. So when it comes to using AI, use AI to build that product. Use it, even if the code is supposedly bad. It works. And if it works, then you can hire those experts later, and then obviously they'll complain that oh, the code is this and the code is that, so forth. It doesn't matter, because the point is what you're looking for is useful code. It's not expertly written code. Expertly written code does nothing. No one cares about expertly written code that no one uses. So and the fact that you use AI is, with AI, you have to actually specify, you have to actually understand at a general level what you're talking about. For instance, with AI, you need to ask it to check for cybersecurity problems. You need to ask it to check the database, whether the database is safe and things like that. By using AI, you learn the knowledge you need when you actually go to the experts with your product that's meeting a need, and you know how to talk to them. And in fact, this is a golden age, because before, not only do you know how to talk to them and ask them, I want secure code, I want user input to be sanitized and so forth, because you showed them that you know what you're talking about. You're just not clueless, and then they can take advantage of you. Not only that, but you can actually use AI. So if they give you code, you sent code abroad or whatever, you told them to fix your code or whatever, and then they sent it back. And if they're assuming that you don't know what you're doing, you don't know anything about code, so they can mess about with you, then you can actually use AI to check the code. You can interrogate the code. So you give the code to AI, or the website to AI, put it on Ask, and then ask it questions about things that you've asked the dev team to do and whether that has been done. So really, you using AI is a golden opportunity, and you don't have to be a coder, but it's giving you power, like literally power in your hands, not only to build that product that meets a need, but also to be able to check what the dev team is doing, whether they've done what you've actually asked them to do. So if you like what you're seeing, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell and choose all. Do visit suhuf.co and get your Nostra key. This goes up every day, so it says 19 right here. That's the clout. It's very important. And the name is the name suggests what it's for, and that is your clout. The higher your clout, the more clout you have, the more authority, kudos, etc. you have on the website. Make sure to give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. Tell us in the comment section why you gave us a thumbs up or thumbs down, and click that gem of a link. Fastlane Business Forum, 7 days free trial. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.